welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a foundation review of the new Maybelline SuperStay foundation. So the foundation looks something like this. If you guys go back to my old video, you guys will notice that I did do a SuperStay foundation review by Maybelline a while ago. It was a long time ago. It's the one in the blue packaging, but I actually don't have it anymore because when I was doing the review back then, I didn't like the foundation at all. But I've been hearing a lot of great things about this foundation, so I really wanted to try it out. I don't know if it's good for dry or oily skin, so that's why I just wanted to try it out to see if it'll work for my dry skin. But they claim to have full coverage, so I'm very excited to kind of see if this foundation works like what it claims. Not only that, I'm also very excited because I'm trying out two different things. So I'm actually trying out this foundation and I'm trying out the Wet n Well concealer corrector. This is in the shade light medium beige. I heard great things about this being a dupe to the Shape Tape concealer, so I really wanted to try this out and see how it works with this foundation, especially with these two items being drugstore. So if you guys are interested, then let's just get started. So starting off with this video, I'm going to read you guys the claim of this foundation. So it claims to be a full coverage foundation up to 24-hour wear, so that means that it should last pretty long. It is a seamless matte finish, which is surprising to me because I did not read this at all before I bought it. So you guys all know that I have normal to dry skin, and it's breathable, comfortable, fade, oil resistant, and doesn't clog the pores. So we'll see how that goes. But if you guys are wondering, I'm in the shade 220 natural beige. I'm usually 220 for all Maybelline foundation, so I hope it's not going to be a little bit too different. I'm just looking at the bottle right now. It might be okay, but this foundation is just going to be like how I review my other foundation. So I'm just going to use the primers that I usually use if I were to go out or this makeup for a long time, which is my Too Faced Hangover RX primer and the Benefit Porefessional. I want to give this foundation a fair shot. I try all my new foundations with those primers, and I always prime my face regardless when I'm wearing makeup. So I think it's fair that I do that routine with this new one to see if it will hold up like all of my other foundation. Now let's just move on to the application. So I just put on some Too Faced Hangover RX primer on my hand, and then I'm going to use this little white brush to apply this all over my face. And I can't find my headband at all, so my hair is going to be like this for a while. If you guys are dealing with any patchiness or dryness when you're putting makeup on, you should definitely try this primer. It has helped a lot with my dry patches and it works really well. And now I'm gonna go in with the Benefit Porefessional and just fill this in the parts that I have very large pores, which is usually around my nose area and this part. So now I'm going to apply on the foundation, and I just realized that this foundation actually has a pump, so that is very good. I love the Fit Me Matte Pro foundation, but it does not have a pump at all, and I thought this foundation was going to be very messy, so I'm super glad that they added a pump. But I'm just going to apply this foundation with a flat kabuki brush. This is my cleanest foundation brush. It doesn't have anything on it besides just like around the edges, so this one should be good to apply on. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but the texture seems very thick. Like it doesn't look watery or it's running at all. It's just like a blob right on my hand right here. I feel like this might be a heavy foundation, but I'm gonna see. Ooh, This foundation texture is really reminding me of Milani Perfect and Conceal foundation because it's really dry like that too. But man, this is pretty full coverage, guys. I can see it in my viewfinder right now. You see how I just covered that pimple that I have on top of my eyebrow right there? What the heck? So it does dry pretty quick. I would say it is a matte finish, but it's not like a flat matte finish where like you can see matteness on your face and it kind of gives you that dry looking skin look, because I know a lot of matte foundation that I've used do that to me because I do have dry skin. But so far this one is not doing that. Let's see how well it covers up this redness. Alright, and now I'm gonna apply it to the other side. And you guys are just gonna have to see this coverage. I did not know it was gonna be this full coverage. Maybelline usually do not have this good of a full coverage in their foundation. Something that really surprised me is just doing the first layer so far. The coverage is really good. It has covered up a lot of my scarring, and I don't even have concealer on, and with that it's covering a lot of my redness, which is something that I really like in a foundation. But I'm just gonna apply a little bit more around the areas that don't have a lot of foundation, and then we're gonna move on and zoom you guys in on how it looks like on my face. So I'm zooming you guys in right now. This is very close, but I want you guys to see how it looks like on the skin. So I have a lot of texture on the right side of my face, but I don't know if you guys can see, but the foundation is not sitting on my texture. So whenever I'm looking at myself in the face, I can't really see. The foundation isn't really emphasizing on that area, which is something that I really like, because whenever I try on matte foundation, that always tends to be the thing that really bugs me. And I also noticed that in the area of my nose, it's not cakey at all, as you guys can see. And I know that you guys can kind of see my texture here, but it's not anything like too crazy. So this side is the same thing, and I do have some texture around this area, but it's not like emphasized. And also same for the nose area, it's very good. So far it has covered up a lot of my redness, especially around my nose area, and then also covered up my two zits at the top here. It's just the one layer, so I think if you do have dry skin, you do have to really prime and hydrate your face before this foundation, because I can see this foundation being an issue for some dry people if you guys don't prime your face, because it can actually sit on the patchiness and the dryness of your skin really easily. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply my concealer and show you guys what I think of that one as well. I really hope that this is a good concealer, because the Shape Tape is so expensive. I really want to find an alternative that I can use just for like everyday uses, instead of using my Shape Tape all the time for like small little events. I'm going to use the Sigma Flat Angle Kabuki. Texture is a lot thicker than the Shape Tape, but it does have pretty good coverage. And I do have to say, it's really easy to blend this concealer out. So far, the concealer doesn't look too bad, but I feel like it made my face a lot cakier than it was before with just the foundation. I'm actually going to set this concealer and set my face with a little bit of powder, and then do the rest of my face, and I'll come back and let you guys know how this looks. I just realized that I was looking back at that clip of me applying the concealer, my shirt was like uneven. I did set the concealer, and as you guys can see, while I was blending the concealer, it was really easy to blend, and I actually like this concealer. I just feel like it might be a little bit too thick for my preference, just because I have dry skin, so sometimes thick concealer can really sit on the fine lines of my under eye. But so far I really like how my whole entire face is looking after I set it, and I gotta say, I'm really digging this like kind of satin matte finish look. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I do really like how my skin looks like right now, and I really think these two combination are actually pretty good. I think I'll actually like this foundation so much better with my Shape Tape, just because that's my #1 concealer. But so far the foundation is looking very good even after using powder on top of it. I'm actually going to do my whole entire face, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back. As you can see, I did my whole entire face, and I have to say that so far I'm loving this foundation. I did my bronzer and highlight and everything, and as I was putting it on top of my foundation, it blended very well. It didn't leave me any patchiness at all, and it was really easy to apply anything on top of it. I didn't have any issue at all. And then also I I sprayed my face with the Urban Decay setting spray, and I noticed that it made my face look even better. So it wasn't even bad at all when I first did my first layer. As you guys saw when I zoomed you guys in, it didn't give me any cakiness at all. But when I sprayed my face, it looks even better. So it did take away a little bit of that cakiness, just a little bit, because it didn't have a lot of it. And I really like this foundation, you guys. Like, I think this might be my new go-to everyday foundation if I were to go out. I honestly think I might actually like this better than my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. And you guys know that is my holy grail foundation because it works very well. But this one just gives me so much coverage, and it does not like emphasize on my dry skin and texture at all. I can't explain that. I don't know if you guys can see it through the camera, like how flawless this foundation looks on the skin, but I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you guys can see. So as you guys can see, I zoom you guys in and tell you guys right now that my nose does not look cakey at all, which is something that is really hard for a lot of foundations. And my skin, you can see my texture and my little bumps that I have on here. You can see that the foundation isn't on top of it. It kind of blends in with it in a way where it makes me look like this is my actual skin. It doesn't look like I just add another layer of foundation over it, and it can make your texture look very noticeable if some foundation tend to do that. But this one is not doing that at all, which I absolutely appreciate because that is something that I struggle with, and I really like how it's not sitting on it. So you guys can see this entire part right here. Foundation just looks really good on the texture part, and this can go with what I said earlier where I said that you have to prime really good, especially if you have dry skin. But overall, like around my area right here, it just looks very good. Like for how much you're getting this foundation for, which is like $12 at Ulta, you are really getting a very good full coverage foundation with very nice finish. Let's see how long this foundation is going to last. I'm going to do a wear test on this and come back to you at the end of the night and let you guys know my final thoughts, because that is what matters most, because it does claim that it's 24-hour wear. So I will check back with you guys in a couple hours. Alright guys, so I'm back for the end of the night and we're going to check out. And so far when I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and with this mirror that I have right here, my foundation still looks really good. The one thing is just my concealer, it's creasing really bad, but that's probably why I'm probably gonna go back to my Shape Tape and just use this as like an everyday if I kind of want to just touch up some blemishes throughout the day. But the foundation, it's still very good. The only thing that I don't like right now is just my nose area, but it's not as bad as some foundations that I've tried before. This is actually a really good, like, this is the best my nose has ever looked. So that's a lot to say, especially with so many foundations that I've tried. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you guys can see how it looks. My face still looks really good. It's not cakey at all on the cheek. It's still the same like how I applied it. The only issue is around the nose area. So as you can see, like it's coming off a little bit on the lines. And then like I just have this pimple right here. But it's kind of cakey in that area. And then also the same thing on this side. It's coming off a little bit right here, but it's not very noticeable because just the side of my nose. And then on the side of my face, everything is good. Like it is transfer proof. I'm like wiping my face, but nothing is coming off. So that's good, transfer proof and everything. So really like it. It just gets a little weird around the nose area, but that's with every foundation that I love. So it's not just this foundation, it's like every foundation that I've used, it's always a problem area around the nose. But I really like this. So this foundation would not be a good foundation if it isn't good in photos. So I actually have a picture to compare and let you guys know. So right here is the one that is without flash, and then this one is with flash. So as you guys can see, it looks amazing in both pictures. So it's actually really good for flash photography, which is I'm super excited about because I don't have to worry about taking pictures on Snapchat. Because have you guys ever like tried out a foundation and you took a picture on Snapchat and you're like, shoot, I look like a ghost? So this is going to be a very good foundation for those of you who are oily and even normal to dry skin if you prep like how I did at the beginning of this video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. Definitely check this foundation out. I think it is one of my top at the drugstore. I love my Fit Me, but I definitely think this is the one on the line, and I absolutely love the coverage. It actually beats my Too Faced Born This Way foundation because it has more coverage than that. So I really hope you guys like this. Please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys haven't yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.